Hello everyone, this is Red Dude. Women of Reddit, what was something you didn't know about men till you got with one? Morning wood. Had absolutely no idea that shit just pops up every night till I started dating my first boyfriend. NRBs, no reason boners like, it just happens. For no reason wild. It do be like that. I'm a developer, I'll be smacking my head against a wall trying to solve a bug and I'll get a boner just why. How they can spend an entire day with a person and not learn a single thing about them. They can shape-shift their balls into a bowl shape and collect water from the shower in them for fun. That when they need to go to the store they just go straight to that item and then pay and leave. It's something I need to learn, lol. This only works if the store is not a hardware store or a sporting goods store or some hobby store. I mean sure, if it's a pharmacy and I want shaving cream, that's what I'll get. If I'm in Home Depot and I need some glue, I'll spend half an hour in the cordless power tool aisle, then wander over to the garden section, then wander back through the grills. I'll leave with a glue and a set of drill bits and a new screwdriver set. That whole thing about the way to their heart being their stomach. Accurate. I once hooked up with a guy I met on Tinder, made him breakfast the next morning. He said no woman had ever cooked for him before, looked teary, and now we're married. I made my ex a Snickers cheesecake for Valentine's Day, and he stayed with me for 3 more months, despite not even liking me that much. I once stayed with a girl way longer than I should have because my CDs were in her car. When they cough their dick flexes, so if coughing naked repeatedly their dick will flap up and down. I laughed so hard the first time I witnessed this. Their feelings and emotions about things work way differently than women. They love head scratches and when you do nice things for them to show they are loved. How much fun they having building stuff together. Hey, I'm installing shelves in the garage, want to come over? And my husband is running out the door. Women offer up so much personal information about themselves that men would only give if they were drinking. I've been conditioned to suspect any questions about my personal life are a phishing scam. How rarely they get complimented. I told my guy that I loved his shirt and he didn't even know what to say. He told me he couldn't remember the last time someone complimented him, so I've started looking for little random things to compliment him on. The coworker told me a green shirt looked good on me like 2 years ago, still my favorite shirt, and I get excited when I put it on in the morning, hoping someone else might say it looks good. Years ago I bought my stepdad a Star Wars themed t-shirt and he started getting compliments and comments on it a lot and it instantly became his favorite shirt. Recently my mom told me he was wanting another nerdy shirt, so I worked with her in secret to get him the right size of one I knew he'd like and she sent me pictures of him opening it. I shared a house with that guy for 6 years, but I'd never seen such a smile on his face, like the one in those pictures. Gonna have to find another for him someday, since they do seem to earn him a lot of compliments. Was shopping for clothes with a friend and the celebrity complimented how handsome I look on a particular shirt. I don't show my emotions much, but I was helplessly grinning from ear to ear, such that my buddy kept pointing it out, much to my embarrassment. It's rare, but it feels good. But the ballsack physically moves around and you can see when it gets looser or tightens. It's super fascinating to look at. You can also feel it and the man can't control it. It's funny to blow on it and watch it move like a strange little animal living down there. My ex-wife was shocked at how short a phone conversation can be for dudes. My best friend called me once. This man literally flew across the country once to be at our wedding, called me because he was bringing me to work the next day. Still need a ride? Yep. Okay, I'll be there at 5:30. Sounds good. And that was it. She sat there astonished and was asking why didn't we want to talk to each other. I really had no good answers either, it's just the way she goes I guess. My favorite cousin texted me. We got engaged, best man. Yep. Cool. His wife is still baffled by it. $1 million question. You not up or down? You not up or down? Tell us in the comments. Most of them are way into cuddling and having their heads rubbed. Scratch my back with long-ish fingernails and I am in heaven. My husband can't sleep anymore without me giving him soft scratches all over his back and bum as we fall asleep. Sometimes this means I keep myself awake until he falls asleep, but hearing those gentle snores is worth it. That balls don't typically hang at the same level, one is a little lower than the other. All those dick doodles have lied to me. How much trauma they tend to accept as simple facts of life definitely made me more invested in my brothers. If my husband has experienced X, Y, and Z and has thought nothing should be done or even said about it, how many experiences like that have the other men in my life had? I've had that before, don't know that anyone told me to supper stuff, but once the obvious steps have been taken, traumatic stuff just gets compartmentalized. I was molested as a very young child and after berating some folks at the camp where it happened, it just wasn't something we talked about because what was to say? Most of my family had a similar experience in some other context during their lives. I thought it was a regrettable but not uncommon thing. Didn't cross my mind that this is a big deal till I was in my 20 seconds. They can make their penis move up and down when it's erected without touching it. It doesn't have to be erect. The penis itself isn't a muscle, but it's attached at the base to one. If you contract relax said muscle, the penis will go up and down accordingly. When they ask you to leave them alone, they absolutely mean it. They don't mean, leave me alone for 5 minutes and then start trying to comfort me or overanalyze the situation or get me to talk it out. I had to learn that the hard way. I genuinely thought men held their penis when they peed because otherwise it would fly all around with the force of urine going through it. I also believed it was like a fireman's hose and would just spray all over the walls. Doesn't get cold easily. Can be quite hard to open up. Loves cuddles too. Wants to be babied and taken care of too. Can be quiet without thinking about anything. I think people overblow the not thinking about anything concept. Oftentimes we are indeed thinking about something, but it's nothing of substance to bring up in any conceivable context. My wife and I were driving once and she says, "You okay?" Pause. I hadn't said anything and I realized I had been concentrating for the last 10 minutes on transforming the lyrics of Tears for Fears. Everybody wants to rule the world to everybody wants to poop their pants. I told her everything including the new lyrics that I was currently using and how some didn't have to change in terms of the subject of poop, like it's my own design, it's my own remorse, stuff like that. She laughed, but I know it was probably better to just say, I'm not thinking about anything. How itchy their balls can be sometimes, and being quiet doesn't mean they're mad or thinking about someone else, they're just vibing. This is too painfully true. My ex once saw me very visibly deep in thought staring at the ceiling in bed while cuddling. She asked what I was thinking about, and apparently Amish barn construction is not the correct answer in these situations. I can't speak for every woman, but this is exactly the kind of answer I am looking for when I ask this question. I genuinely love knowing what people's random little thoughts are. It brings me such joy to hear shit like how many chickens we could fit in the car from my boyfriend. How easy they can be to please. A plate of food without being asked or a compliment show of admiration in front of other people goes quite a long way. Bill Burr has a bit where he talks about a time he was working in his garage when he was hot, sweaty, and worn out, and his wife brought him a sandwich, some corn chips, and a cold beer. She sat it down, kissed him in the head, and left. He said he still thinks about that sandwich years later. If there is a poop stain in the toilet, they will try to aim their pee to hit it. It's really disappointing if we can't fully remove it with a full bladder. How little things he needs to survive, so this makes them so appreciate to have care and company. Like he won't need clean bed sheets, but you go and change them and they feel so much better and grateful. This took me some time to get. Thanks for watching. This was Red Dude. If you enjoyed the content, make sure to check out my other content.